All right, welcome to the Delete Laws channel. What is a law? All laws are the opinions of politicians backed by the threat of state-sponsored brute force. And if you stand against the government, it's always going to be dangerous, even if you're right when the government is always wrong. It's always going to be dangerous to stand on the truth when the government specializes in propagating lies. And it's always going to be dangerous to promote freedom when order followers and their thin blue line bootlicking supporters want you in shackles. That's the life we live right now. And that's the reality we have to deal with. That's the hand we've been dealt with, or that's the hand we've been dealt. So I'm going to go over this video right here that was uploaded just a couple hours by NC Tyrant Hunter. If you haven't subscribed to him, I suggest that you do. He's got a lot of good content. I am subscribed to him. It's just that I'm logged in on Google Chrome, which I don't use. I use Firefox, and I'm not signed into Google. But just because it shows that I'm not subscribed, I am. I don't know if you guys knew this, but if you run StreamYard, you cannot run audio that your audience can hear unless you're connected to Google Chrome. I'm going to play this, and whatever you may think about driver's license and registration and proof of forced insurance, the question is, should a person be drugged out of their private property and handcuffed, abused by the authorities who are supposed to be protecting you and serving you, taking you down for fingerprinting, and then thrown into a cage? You tell me. You tell me if they should be, because there's a lot of people who think that they should. Let's watch this. This comes from the Shaggy Hippie channel. Shaggy Hippie channel.
Sit down, Bubba. It's okay. How's it going today?
Good. You running your window?
I'm safe right here like it is, bub.
Okay, well, I can't see. You got a driver's license?
I got my dog in here, man.
Oh, I need to see you. Roll down your window so I can see your face. Come on, roll it down some more.
I'm good right here, brother. I'm good right here, brother.
All right, I need you to step out of the vehicle for me then.
What for, sir?
Because I asked you to.
Can I get a supervisor, please, sir?
I don't need a supervisor.
I need a supervisor. I'm requesting a supervisor, please, sir. I'm video and audio recording. Can I get your name?
Listen.
Can I get your name and badge number for the record, please, sir?
I'm Deputy Sisk. You were
Deputy Sisk. What is your name? What is your badge number, please?
It's 805.
805.
You were stopped for no license plate on the front or the rear of your vehicle.
502.003 of the Texas Transportation Code.
Step out of your vehicle.
No, thank you, sir. I don't feel safe doing that, sir. Would you get a supervisor for me, sir, please? What lawful order is that officer giving me, brother?
The lawful order is for you to step out of your vehicle.
What do I need to step out of my vehicle for, sir? Do you have a warrant?
For my safety.
Am I under arrest, sir? I need a supervisor. I'm going to remain silent, sir, and plead the fifth.
Now notice what the costumed tyrant said. He's got a Kevlar vest on. He's got training. He's heavily armed, and he wants you to step out of the vehicle for his safety. What about your safety? He doesn't care about your safety. He wants you actually to submit to his will. In any other world, on any other plane, in any other multiverse, doing that to somebody would constitute criminal activity. You're doing something to somebody that you wouldn't want done to yourself. You're violating the golden rule, and you're violating another man's consent. You're violating his will. That is the fundamental cornerstone of criminal activity. It's the cornerstone and the foundation from which people rape others, from which they murder others, and from which they steal from others. It's that they don't mind violating the consent and the rights of other people. But somehow it's okay when you call yourself government or a government agent or law enforcement and you have official looking badges and credentials and uniforms. How is that? See, the problem is now we've got two different people here. We got a guy right here who's just operating on, hey, I just want to be free. I just want to be left alone. And you got a guy who's been immersed in the indoctrination program called Today's World, or he's plugged into the Matrix, which we're all forced to live because of the belief structure of what's going on in this guy's head and his buddies and the thin blue line supporters. So we've got two different worlds at every traffic stop. We've got two different worlds colliding when you're talking about during a traffic stop where there's an innocent person and there's a victimizer in a uniform. This person, as far as I see, is innocent. He hasn't just gotten done robbing a bank. He hasn't gotten done violating anybody. He's just traveling down the road, and he doesn't happen to have those thin metal plates that the cop wants him to have. This is the whole issue here.
Thank you, sir.
Door and step out of the vehicle.
Please, sir. I'm requesting a supervisor, sir. Please, sir. I'm requesting a supervisor, sir.
Sucks.
Sir, you're not under arrest.
Then can I be free to go, sir?
No, sir, you're not free to go. I need to talk to you because
I can talk to you right here, sir.
I need you to step out of the vehicle.
No, thank you, sir.
ID yourself.
Well, what? Do you have a warrant to gather that information, sir? Well, I need to speak to a supervisor, sir.
Your felon ID.
What crime have I committed, sir?
Sir, in the Texas Transportation Code, you're required to
3802. I have to be committed of a crime, sir.
required to have a license plate on your vehicle. It's required to be registered.
502-003 of the Transportation Code says political subdivision of this state may not require a registration of a motor vehicle, a tax, a yearly tax, or a license in correlation with thereof, sir. Thank you, sir.
What's your name?
So now what this cop's going to do is, well, that's your interpretation. I'm here to just enforce the code, the regulation, the stipulation. You are to act as a citizen. You are to be subservient to me, and you are to comply. If you don't comply, then I can justify using force on you. That's how they've been trained. And they actually believe that, and it's not true. Ken Bell says, this would have a lot more meaning if you would show follow-up and see this part all the time, but no follow-ups. Why? It doesn't really matter about a follow-up. Let's just say that what ended up happening is this guy goes to jail. He gets fingerprinted. He gets booked. He gets charged. He gets extorted. Let's just say that that's the way it ends up. What people really need to see is what is actually happening. It's not so much about the follow-up. What if he didn't win? What if nobody ever wins? We see right to travels where people get to drive away only to fall prey to another officer down the road who's not so understanding, or who's having a bad day, or whose ego is especially susceptible to bruising. So it doesn't really matter what the follow-up is. Let's say it's the worst possible outcome. Let's say it's the best possible outcome. This right here should never happen. Not in the land of the free, home of the brave. And if it does happen, and it does daily, I mean, we're talking about they issue traffic tickets to the tune of over $11,794 every single minute of every single day in America, to the tune of $6.1 billion annually as a revenue windfall for law enforcement agencies, state, local, and federal, under traffic law. Do you think for a second that any law enforcement agency wants to give up traffic law when it's such an economic boon for them? No. A man will refuse, a corrupt man will refuse to come to the knowledge of the truth when his salary, when his paycheck, when his bonuses, when the plaques on the wall depend on him not coming to the knowledge of the truth. See, the truth is, no man has a legitimate right to rule you. I don't care how official it may look. I don't care how legitimate or good of a justification as you have. You don't have the right to take away the rights of another innocent man. You don't have it. So no matter how this ends up, this is wrong. It is unjust. It is criminal activity. How do we know? Because if you did the same thing to somebody else and you harass them like the cops are harassing you, they would rightly throw your butt in jail.
I remain silent, sir.
So you're refusing to give me your name.
Am I under arrest, sir?
Okay. I already told you you're not arrested.
If I'm not under arrest, can I leave, sir?
No, sir, you cannot leave.
I have a dog in here, sir.
You're not allowed to leave, sir.
Then I need a supervisor, please, sir.
You have any weapons in the vehicle? You have any weapons in the vehicle, sir? Sir, your cooperation will make this a lot easier. All I'm asking for is your name.
My hand's right here, sir.
Your cooperation would make this a lot easier. Those are the golden words. Those are the expected words of an authoritarian, psychopathic control freak. Your cooperation and my victimization of you would go a lot easier. Sounds like something a rapist would say to a rape victim, or a murderer would say to somebody that he aims to take out. Or a thief would say to some family that he just got done tying up as him and his crew work to empty their house. Your conformity to what I'm doing, your submission to my authority is going to make this thing go a whole lot easier.
Sir, I'm not a threat to you, sir.
Right now, I don't know what's in the vehicle, and you're not.
I'm not a threat to you, officer.
This could simply be a warning.
It could be. What do you need to give me a warning for, sir?
You don't have proper registration on your vehicle.
502.003, registration by political subdivision is prohibited.
Hey, partner, deputy out from Gray County.
Hey, man, can I put my arms in and pet my dog, man? I got a service dog.
Arms down so you can, unless you can roll your window out.
No,
step
thank
out
you.
for me.
No, thank you, man.
Michael says in the chat, and I agree, it is very dangerous to try to be a sovereign man. It will get you killed when these road pirates pull you over. And the reason is because you are operating on truth. You're operating on fact. You are operating on natural law, on common law. They are operating on statutory law. And to them, that law is life. It's their way or the highway. If you don't comply, you may well die.
Unless you got a warrant for me to do that.
Okay. Well, and then you can keep your hands out where we can see them until we can get confirmation that you have.
Okay, can I get your name and badge number for the record on video and audio recording?
Okay. Deputy Odom with badge number 2293.
Odom 2293.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
What's your name?
I don't want to give it unless you have a warrant to gather that information. Thank you, sir.
Unfortunately, that doesn't work.
3802 says I had to be committed of a crime. What crime have I committed?
Not having a license plate.
Register 502.003 Texas Transportation Code.
State of Texas. So
Well, if I'm under arrest, I'd like to go talk with a magistrate. Otherwise, I'd like to be free to go on about my day.
well, you're not free to go.
Right now, sir, you're detained. Okay.
Well, that's a detainment is a custodial arrest, and I'd like for you to read me my Miranda rights, please.
Now you're failing to identify.
3802, failure to identify as I had to commit a crime. Thank you, sir.
You willing to step out of your vehicle?
No, thank you, sir. Not without a warrant. I'm in my private property being safe, and I don't feel safe with y'all. Thank
You're
you.
also running the highways with no license plate and also
502.003, registration by political subdivision is prohibited.
that is not recognized in the state of Texas.
It's written by the Texas Criminal Traffic Law Manual. I just bought the brand new one, dude.
See, that is not recognized in the state of Texas. What if we all got together? And this could be possible. I'm not sitting here saying that anybody should do this. I'm not giving any advice. I'm not a lawyer, so there's no legal advice coming from me. But what if a large majority of the people got together and said, we don't recognize your authority, state. We don't recognize your authority, Leos. We don't recognize your authority. It is foreign to us. We are not under your jurisdiction. We're not under your rule. You're supposed to be serving us, and we're supposed to be the masters. That's how this thing works. But do you think anybody's listening to that? Do you think any American who's at a sporting event, who's singing Land of the Free, Home of the Brave, or the Land of the Free, Home of the Brave, is going to be willing to step out on a limb and exercise their unalienable rights? Doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it.
So please,
Your attorney a little bit better.
if I'm under arrest, I'll get my attorney through the magistrate, sir.
So I'll ask you again, do you have any weapons or anything in the vehicle? Any guns?
I'm remaining silent, sir.
Hey, partner, where are you from?
I'm from America. Thank you, sir.
From America?
Yes, sir. Where you
Okay.
from?
From America also.
That's awesome,
Are
brother.
you from Overton?
Who am I from?
Are you from Overton, Texas?
Why would I be from Overton, Texas? What makes you think I would be from Overton, Texas, sir?
I have no clue. I'm just asking.
No, that's cool.
Okay. What's your first name?
What's
we
your?
can be on, so we can be on first name basis, all right?
Okay,
My name's Matthew. So what's
that's
yours?
cool, Matthew. I don't really feel like giving any private information with you, brother. I feel threatened right now. I got two armed men right here by my truck. I got my service dog right here. I'm scared. My dog's scared. I'd like to be free about my travels. I don't know what crime I've committed, so could you please?
License plate, no rear license plate, also no registration.
Is that-
under the Texas Transportation Code? Which you should be familiar with that also.
Oh,
I noticed that under Shaggy Hippie's channel that he has got a lot of thumbs down on this, and it looks like he deactivated his comments. Let me see if I can find his. Let's see this video, right? Popular. This video right here. He's got, oh, you can't see it on this. I have a plug-in on my Firefox browser that shows the thumbs down. I forgot that they took the thumbs down away for the general audience, but you can get a plug-in for your browser that shows the thumbs down. It's like 326 thumbs down to 131 thumbs up, and the comments are turned off because I'm sure that he's getting a lot of negatives, and I'm sure with the average Boobus Americanus who's indoctrinated by the 15,000 hour public fool indoctrination system and fake stream media television, I'm sure what the regular American would say is, hey, why not just make it easier on yourself? Just submit to the authorities. Just do what they tell you to do. Why put yourself through this? Why put your dog through this? That's what most people say. And that's how tyrants get away with what they get away with, because we just continue to accept 1,000 tiny, almost imperceptible reductions in our freedoms until we wake up one day and it's like, oh my gosh, how'd this happen? How is it that we have no freedom? How is it that we have unsound money? How is it that we have fiat currency and national debt and rulers rule over us instead of serving us?
So you're talking about a license, which would be 521.021, except for persons expressly exempt. 521.001, 521.021, license number 6, one of the three accepted terms. I'm not arguing with you, brother. If you'd like to go argue in front of the magistrate, I'm 100% willing with you. But I mean,
well, here's the deal: this could get very ugly to the fact that.
Here's the deal: this could get very ugly. There you go. It's only getting ugly by your choice. There will only be violence used if you, officer, choose to use violence and brutality and coercion and threats. This guy right here who's in his private property is not making you be brutal. It's not making you be violent. It's not making you trample his rights. You're doing that. You have chosen to do that, and you've chosen to steep yourself into cognitive dissonance so you can sleep at night, but you hold two contradictory views. You hold the view that you're living in the land of the free, in America, which is supposed to be free, and you're holding on to, oh, you must obey my authority. If we change the thin blue line to the red blue line and put everybody who's in blue today in red and called them red coats, there would be no difference between what's happening now and what happened in the 1700s when the colonists decide to just, this is enough. Ain't going to happen. Not on my watch. And even back then, when they started the Revolutionary War, there was only about 30% on the side of the freedom fighters. And with only 1/3 of the country being behind, not being pushed around anymore, they were able to push back the King of England and his henchmen.
Force you out. We don't want to do that. So,
and no, this is not a call for arms against anyone. I can totally see somebody taking that little clip right here. I'm just telling you, the tyranny we see now is it's tyranny on steroids compared to the tyranny enacted by the King of England back in the 1700s. And the colonists didn't tolerate it back then. And today's leaders, today's rulers, the presidents, the vice presidents, the members of Congress all give lip service to the forefathers while they trample the rights of we the people.
You talk to us, we talk to you.
I don't feel like talking without an attorney present, sir. Would you read, since this is a custodial arrest, would you read me my Miranda rights? This is a custodial arrest, a detainment.
I don't know what Wendell's talking about there. Stumbled across a SovCit channel. This is not a law enforcement channel. This is not a law enforcement. We're not pro law enforcement. Those are the people who act like the SovCits. They're the ones who are above their own law. They're the ones that break their own codes and their own policies and their own rules that they hold us, our feet to the fire to. So this isn't this. You're mistaken. This isn't a pro police channel. If this was a pro police channel, this would be that oxymoron, that misnomer. It would be a SovCit channel. But this isn't pro police. So I don't get when first of all, I don't understand the term, because sovereign and citizen, it's like saying a ruling subject. There's no such thing as, you're either a ruler or you're a subject. You can't be a ruling subject. It's like airline food or tight slacks or military intelligence or jumbo shrimp. It's not deafening silence. It's sovereign citizen is an oxymoron. So number one, you misused a phrase. And number two, if such a phrase did exist, we wouldn't fit that description, because we have to be subservient to the laws. But the cops don't act like that. The politicians don't act like that. The judges don't act like that. They have this thing called qualified immunity. They have declared their own sovereignty from their own laws. They are above their own laws, and they act in such a way that they're above their own laws. So it's kind of, I don't know if that was just a comic relief from Wendell, but that's kind of interesting, the comment.
It is a custodial arrest.
All right.
Read me my Miranda rights, please.
What's your name?
Read me my Miranda rights, please.
Name?
Read me my Miranda rights, please. Thank you. I'm not a threat to anybody, dude. I'm traveling, being with my dog, trying to get some water.
Sir, this could easily.
I wish to remain
Do
silent.
you want to listen to me at all? I'm asking you a question. It's a yes or no.
What do you have to say?
Is that a yes?
What do you have to say?
I said this could end easily. This could have simply been a warning. This could have simply been a citation, and you could listen, and you could be on your way.
Well, if you want to write it,
Listen, you're stopped for violation of traffic code, and that's why you're sitting here.
I think that ossifer may have been drinking, or maybe he's under the influence of some kind of drug.
You're not under arrest. You're stopped. You're not free to leave because you're on a traffic stop for violation of traffic
that's
code.
okay.
Now, what does that mean? If you're not free to leave because you're in violation of a traffic stop, then traffic stops, practically speaking, trump unalienable rights, which means you don't really have, in the minds of these officers, you don't have unalienable rights because we've got traffic law. So we've used traffic law as a justification to infringe on rights that the Constitution says you can't infringe on.
It's a simple Class C, but you're escalating this into possible more charges. So
You are escalating this, more victim blaming. You're the one escalating this, buddy. It's not us. Yeah, says the ones who have surrounded this man's vehicle with armed agents of the state. All right, gotcha.
felon ID is a violation as well.
I'm not escalating. My hands are out here. I'm
But you're
trying to
not communicating.
de-escalate.
You don't know who you are.
I don't have. I'm under no obligation to give you any
Okay, so
information,
as
man.
As a police officer, I'm asking you for your name. You're not telling me who you are. So if I just,
I have the right to remain silent and private in my person's
am I
papers and
supposed to
effects.
just
Thank
let
you,
go
sir.
and let you violate what Texas traffic law and not even get your name?
The Constitution says I have the right to privacy, dude. Dude, my hand's right here. I'm not no threats, dude. I got a service dog in here, man. We're trying to get some water, dude.
Sir.
Hey, man. Can I get you? I'm video and audio recording. Can I
It's
get you?
okay. My name is Craig Harrington. I'm the chief deputy here at Gregg County.
Okay, thanks, sir.
All right. You were pulled over by a local peace officer for a detention.
Don't you just love dogs? It's like dogs like this, they just don't let you down. They're your bud through thick, through thin. They don't care what's going on. They love everybody. They're just faithful little creatures.
For no real license plate. And upon his request, he's asking that you see your driver's license, which is part of the transportation code. That you must show your driver's license upon request by a police officer.
502.003.
I'm talking about 525 of the transportation code.
Well,
sir.
then we'd have to go back to 521.
I'm not arguing that point with you. I'm
Well,
telling you right
If
now,
you'd like to go talk with a magistrate, I'm 100%
okay,
down
well,
with that.
that's what's going to happen. Is they're going to have to pull you out of this. In which case, that you will be forced to go before the magistrate, but you're going to be doing that under arrest. Do you understand that?
So what do you need right now from me?
He needs your driver's license upon request.
A driver's license. Am I driving under commerce?
Yes, sir. You were driving down the road. You were pulled over.
I was
by a
traveling
local-
freely,
Sir,
man.
I'm not going to argue that point with you. I'm
Well-
telling you that you need to provide him with your driver's license and failure to do so.
They literally look at, when you start talking that lingo, they literally look at you like you are the alien. You are the bad guy. You're the transgressor. You have disturbed their peace. when you just go, dude, I was just traveling. I was minding my own business. I wasn't bothering anybody. I wasn't victimizing anybody. I wasn't threatening anybody. No property was damaged under my watch. And yet here you guys are threatening me with the violence of the state, an innocent man. How can you feel good about that? How can you?
He's probably.
I would like to remain silent and play the fifth, man. My hand's right here. I'm no threat to y'all.
Yeah, well, there you go, Jonathan. Jonathan says if you get pulled over for a traffic infraction, you have to present your ID. You don't have to do anything else. And that right there is a violation of the Fourth Amendment right. But Jonathan is right. That is what they believe their code says. And indeed, that is what their code says. But their code in reality is not supposed to trump unalienable rights. Terry v. Ohio is not supposed to take away your security, to your ability to be secure in your person, nor does Pennsylvania versus Mims. Basically, what the Supreme Court said is, number one, in 1803 from Marbury versus Madison, we have the right of judicial review. In other words, we'll tell you what the Constitution says. We have the power of interpretation. You peasants can't have it. And number two, in 1968, when they passed Terry v. Ohio, and then later with Pennsylvania versus Mims, they're basically saying traffic law trumps your rights, and so does officer safety. Your safety does not matter. It doesn't come into play. It's not in the purview of the Supreme Court justices or the Supreme Court injustices. Therefore, it is not in the mind of the law enforcers. All they can think about is, I got to go home safe at the end of my shift, and I don't care what I got to do in the meantime to make that happen.
All right, sir. I need you to unlock the door, step out of the vehicle, keep your hands where I'm seeing them. You are under arrest
For what?
for fail to display a driver's license
Upon demand?
upon request.
Is that 3802?
Yeah. All right.
I haven't-
Advise, sir. Step out of the vehicle, keep your hands where I can see them.
I don't feel safe.
Turn
I
around.
don't feel safe.
It's fine. Turn around. No,
My-
don't reach.
My dog.
Don't reach. The
Here we
dog stays
go.
in the car.
Here we
My
go.
dog.
The
Here
dog
we
stays
go.
in the car. Let go of the
Please,
dog.
man.
Let go of the dog.
Dude, I gotta put him.
This sucks. This sucks, man. This sucks. I hate this. This causes my heart rate to go up. It's unjust, no matter how you look at it. But there are millions and millions of our fellow Americans who are not law enforcement agent clowns, who support the law enforcement agent clowns, who will say, dude, all you had to do is have a registration like the rest of us, proof of insurance like the rest of us, and a driver's and an ID like the rest of us, and just submit to the redcoats. They'd be the very ones to Samuel Adams and Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Paine. Hey, Thomas Paine, stop writing it. Don't write common sense, the precursor to the Declaration of Independence. Jefferson, stop writing the Declaration of Independence. Hey guys, stop. Just let's do what the British say. Let's do what the redcoats say. And then how far down the path of totalitarianism would we be if they didn't interrupt that little course in history right there? That little trajectory that the tyrants had all planned out for us. Because, totalitarianism and tyranny, it doesn't stop. It metastasizes. And when you have a little bit this year, you got a lot of bit next year.
No, the drop! The drop! The drop! The drop! No! Get the drop! Get the drop! Get the drop!
He's trying to tell him that the truck is in gear. It's in drive.
Get the drop! Please! My dog! I'm not even fighting the resistance, man.
Still rolling.
It's rolling, it's not here.
All right. And the brakes on.
Poor guy, poor pup. Jeez. No, it's actually not the way it is, Curtis. It's the way they want they want your reality to be, but the way it is supposed to be with the Constitution, and they'll even tell you that. With lip service, they'll say you have the right to be secure in your person, but their policies say no, they don't have the right to be secure in their person. You, officer, have the right to be secure. You have the right to be safe. And because we believe you have the right to be safe and secure and not the person who's traveling in his private property on the public roadways, we have written Terry v. Ohio and Pennsylvania versus Mims. And therefore, you have to get out. So is this law of the land, which isn't really a law, is the policy of the land that you have to get out, that you have to show your ID, that you have to comply or die? Yes, it is. Is it prudent to maybe be a little bit diplomatic in your dealings with law enforcement tyrants? Yes, I think it's prudent to be diplomatic and to try not to escalate, try not to bruise egos. But the supreme law of the land is still the supreme law of the land, and they will tell you it's the supreme law of the land while they hypocritically act out other supreme laws of the land. See, the supreme law of the land, as they have fabricated our reality and plugged us into our matrix, is Terry v. Ohio is the supreme law of the land. Pennsylvania versus Mims, Marbury versus Madison is the supreme law of the land. Traffic code and traffic law and ordinances and rules and regulations, and you shall not do this and you shall not do that, and alcohol prohibition and the drug war and the drug law and the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, where you can be charged with that. You can be imprisoned without charge, trial, or due process of law. The Patriot Act has become the supreme law of the land, even though in actual reality, it's not supposed to be that way, but they want to create a reality that we're all supposed to go along with. So when you say you have to have tags, a license plate, and a driver's license, that's just the way it is. That mental framework is what started the revolution. It's what started the Civil War. Lincoln didn't like the fact in the 1860s, he didn't like the fact that the southern states just wanted to secede. They just wanted to be left alone to do their own thing. They weren't going to bother the North. They even made the offer to Lincoln, I'll tell you what, we will pay off our part of the national debt. Just leave us alone. Lincoln wouldn't have it because he's like, hey, if I got to throw 614,000 bodies at this, we're keeping the Union together. Went all tyrant, was arresting journalists in the North who breathed one word of criticism against Lincoln and his tyrannical policies. Sherman burned and raped and pillaged all the way to the sea. Just look up, read Sherman's memoirs. This guy was a monster under Lincoln, the big monster. So yeah, it's this mentality of that's just the way it is. That's how we tiptoe down the path of totalitarianism.
What time did I go, dude?
This poor dog. Such a well-behaved.
How to kill all mosquitoes in the area in just
Such a well-behaved dog. Let me skip over this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fast forward to where they pulled the dog out of the car.
It's a piece of paper, so I can't.
This dog, as well behaved and calm as this dog is, his life is in jeopardy too. A cop won't think twice if it's my life or this dog's life. And I don't care if the dog is wagging, if he's trying to lick him or whatever. A cop will see that as an act of aggression. So this dog's life hangs in the balance. Thankfully, this dog doesn't lose his life, and the owner doesn't lose his life in the situation. But the owner does lose his freedom, and the dog temporarily loses his master.
Yeah, you're gonna want to learn that. That puppy seemed okay when I went in there.
Earl. Boy. Come on.
What charges you got on him besides registration?
What charges you got on him besides registration and failure to ID, both of which are not crimes in the real world. We operate in the real world. They operate in a world of fiction, and they will force their fiction on you if you don't subscribe to their belief structure. That's why Larkin Rose called government the most dangerous superstition, and it is. You're talking about the biggest death cult in the history of mankind.
Plate driver's license upon request, and everything else on the vehicle.
All right, let me get some gloves. You able to see a VIN on there?
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. The guy gets arrested, of course, for asserting his rights. And like I said at the beginning of this, you got to choose your battles wisely. I'm not telling anybody what they should or shouldn't do. We can definitely sit here as adults and point out what is wrong and what is right. And it will always be dangerous to be right when the government is so wrong. So I will leave the link to NC Tyrant Hunter and the link to Shaggy Hippie. Maybe Shaggy Hippie can put out a video and do a follow-up and let us know what actually happened with that, if he had to pay a fine. Because when I look on his channel, let's go to Shaggy Hippie channel here. Go to the videos, popular, September 19th, 2023. This happened on May 2023. Let's see. Let's watch this video.
Do you own your home in Oklahoma?
DA's office, please. Yes, ma'am.
Greg County.
Yes, ma'am. Can I speak with the DA's office, please?
Oh, one moment, please.
Yes, ma'am.
District Attorney's office.
Yes, ma'am. This is Eric Trotter. I was just calling to see if there's any update on the charge that was filed against me, the restricting charge.
Let me go in and look.
Yes, ma'am.
Hang on one second. I still just have the two cases. The old one, DWI, and the more recent one, failure to identify. I don't have a new one.
The resisting one is not on there? Okay. Okie dokie. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Did she say DWI? I have to look into that. Ain't nobody should be down with driving under the influence. I think you're an absolute moron and just totally stupid to drive down the road with your mind messed up on drugs or alcohol. Very irresponsible. Very irresponsible. Nobody who's sane is down with that. This right here is from Tom Zebra. Police officer prohibits video recording in public. What is the problem with these public officials who say that they love transparency when it really comes down to it? They don't want you recording their actions. What's going on here?
You won't get out of the car. That's pretty much it.
Fine. Tell your way. You're being placed under arrest.
I'm gonna put my keys. I'm gonna put my keys up. These are my keys.
Start fighting, okay?
These are my keys.
I will tell you what. This guy right here, this skinny bald guy with the glasses. Can you see him? He would never, under any circumstances, under normal circumstances, without that uniform, ever put himself in a position where he's doing this to somebody. They know we can't fight back. They know we won't fight back, because if we fight back, we will probably not live through the experience. This power corrupts. There you go, right there. There's a perfect picture. A picture is worth 1,000 words of power corrupting an individual, giving him this perception that he has the right to lay hands on another man like that and not feel any kind of universal consequences for his actions.
These are my keys. Hey, relax. He's unconscious, so he's relaxed now.
Oh my gosh.
Get out of the street.
Excuse me?
Get out of the street.
Okay, no problem.
Now.
Yes, sir. I'll go right now. Mr. King, you have a nice day, okay?
Look at this guy. Is he roided up? Do you think Do you think that he would pull you over for having illicit drugs when he probably takes them himself? Probably has his buddies shoot him in his rear end at the gym. Look at this guy.
Does I see anybody?
I don't know why they're playing this music here.
You need to get away. You're too close. You're too close.
Well, I'm
too close.
Am
Get
I?
away.
Am I?
Yes, you are.
Is this sidewalk just not open?
All right.
So quit treating me like an exception, please.
Look at this guy.
Ken, you're an asshole. Give me my camera back, please.
What did you say?
I said you're an asshole. Give me my camera
I told
back.
you so many times to get back. You don't want to.
Shut up and give me my camera.
Watch your mouth, dude.
Give me my camera.
Watch your mouth.
Give me my camera.
Watch your mouth.
Step
back. Step back. Careful what you say.
So look, let's go back. This guy right here, who I think that's his camera. This guy is providing the public a much needed service, the service of transparency, the service of holding public servants, supposedly public servants, accountable. And the people who are constantly droning on about how they love transparency and they welcome accountability, all of a sudden, when it comes down to it, they want to walk in the darkness instead of be disinfected by the light.
You were asking so many questions the other night about me, the other night to my lieutenant, that I'd be cool with you. Right now, we're starting all over from scratch.
Officer King,
No.
it's not about you being cool with me. I have a First Amendment right.
I was cool with you.
You ever heard the saying, pick me your battles?
Yeah, but I'm not quite sure how it applies.
Hi. Turn the camera off?
Yeah, please.
Are you serious? I'm going to go stand across the street.
Oh yeah, this is Tom Zebra. This is from the Tom Zebra channel, guys. Sorry, I forgot to give that shout out. This is Tom Zebra. Police officer prohibits video recording in public.
Not right now, okay?
I'm not, Officer,
Okay. Now you're gonna leave it on?
Officer King,
Leave.
I'm not leaving. I'll go across the street. I'm not leaving.
You're impeding the roadway.
It's not possible to impede traffic when there's no cars on the road.
Yeah, that's the thing with cops. They're used to making things up. They're used to going by fictitious laws that run afoul of the Constitution. So they'll make other things up. You obstructed, you hindered, you were interfering, you're blocking traffic when there is no traffic. You can't block traffic when there's no traffic to block. So they'll just make something up and they'll expect you to believe it because they believe their own fairy tales and their own lies and their own fantasies.
Apparently thinks he can just demand that I leave a crime scene, and since he said so, I will do it. I have extended that courtesy to him in the past. Looks like he's got a key to the room. He's going to open it. See, the officers have their guns drawn. If he can't control himself around a nice guy like me, imagine what he might do to you.
Yep.
Officer King has made it his sole purpose today to try and stand in front of my camera. You know why that is? He's got a big attitude. He's violent, and he throws a fit when he doesn't get his way. Oh, Mr. King.
Yeah, and it's called prior restraint. You're actually getting in the way of the camera, which means you are violating some person's rights who wants to operate as the press for a clearly public interest story. And what he said is right. If they're going to treat Tom Zebra like this, acting like a nice guy, being respectful, willing to have a dialogue, what are they going to do to somebody who maybe pushes back a little bit more aggressively against tyranny? If they're going to do this to this guy right here laying on the concrete, and they're going to want to block your view, let's say that was
sole purpose.
Let's say this right here,
Officer King.
Let's say this right here was you laying on the concrete. I know if it was me, I would want somebody recording so that if I lived through the experience, I could take that recording and then I could show it to a jury and show that, hey, I was abused under the color of law. I had my rights deprived under the color of whatever law they think they're operating under. We got on camera that they conspired against my rights. And then you can launch a 42-1983. But if you don't have that and cops understand this, and your view is obscured by their bodies, because that's the whole intent of them stepping in the way of your camera, then they know they got one over on you, even if they're recording with their own body cameras, because you are not likely to get it through a FOIA request. And if you do get it, it may be highly redacted.
He's made it his sole purpose today Trying to stand in front of my camera, you know why that is? He's got a big attitude, he's violent, and he throws a fit when he doesn't get his way. Huh, Mr. King? Fired for brutality, got rehired, got promoted to sergeant.
We got an officer who's disciplined.
Got demoted again. Now he's got
Oh, what did he say there about steroids?
We got an officer.
What went wrong? Anger issues, unsafe techniques, steroids? Yeah, that's the first thought that comes to my mind. When I see a guy who's that big and he's lean and big, and he's got no neck, he's got these huge arms, unnaturally so. It is a rare person. It is a rare genetically gifted individual who has that kind of stuff. Usually, what are they called? Performance enhancing drugs are involved in that kind of scenario. The very performance enhancing drugs where if you were traveling down the road with those in your vehicle, that cop who's using them for himself would arrest you because he doesn't want you using them, but it's okay for him. Laws for thee and not for me.
Who's disciplined.
Got demoted again. Now he's got 2 stripes. I fought to fucking have a First Amendment right in this city of Hawthorne, but these bitches still think they could take away the First Amendment. Hey, King, what happened to your other stripe? You lost the stripe. Where'd your other stripe go, King? You in trouble again? Did you get in trouble again, King? It's not hard to see why. Your big fucking attitude. Maybe cut back on the steroids a little bit.
I'm so glad he's saying that. I did not review this video before I showed it to you. And I think that anybody who's knows anything about that kind of lifestyle, that's probably the first thing that popped into their minds too. And it doesn't just affect how your body grows, it affects your mind. There are people who cannot control their aggression when they're on this kind of stuff because it kind of changes your hormones. It changes things around. It dishelves things within you.
Maybe need some therapy to calm yourself before you hurt somebody again. I'm giving you good advice, King. Or you could just stay the fuck out of my way and we won't have these problems. Officer King just asked me to turn off my camera, which is...
Tommy Kang was making $250,000 back in 2014. Man. And this is the incentivization program that I'm talking about. These cops will not come around to freedom if accepting a paycheck, such a lucrative paycheck, depends on them not coming around to freedom. You think they're going to jeopardize that kind of money? No way. No way. That is a gravy train that they are not interested in hopping off of.
Something that I would almost never do.
Officer Kung Fu Kang kicks fast as lightning. I'm not going to play this because it might be, I'm sure that song is copyrighted. Here's another illegal stop and ID refusal in Appleton, Wisconsin.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, how you doing?
For Golly Appleton Police Department.
Yeah.
What are you up to today?
What'd you pull me over for?
I was just curious. I saw you behind me. I couldn't
You
tell what
turned
you
your
had.
emergency lights on and pulled me over because you were curious?
Yeah,
Is that
suspicious
legal?
activity.
What statute is that?
It's suspicious activity, sir.
What's
Do you
your
have a
badge?
driver's license on you?
What'd you pull me over?
I was curious to see if you were engaged in suspicious activity, so I thought I'd take my liberty as a sob sit, only a sob sit. If they truly existed, this is what they would look like out in the wild. Only they would think that, and only they would enact such a law. They don't even have a policy. They don't even have a code. They don't even have a regulation. Yeah, we got our reasonable articulable suspicion from the 1968 case from Terry v. Ohio, but that's not even what he was pulling him over for. I suspect that you might be suspicious. It's supposed to be reasonable articulable suspicion that you have committed a crime, not reasonable articulable suspicion that you're suspicious or that I'm kind of curious, so I pulled you over.
For
Suspicious activity. I didn't know what you were
that's
doing.
that's not a law.
Actually, I
no,
can
it
pull you
isn't.
over for that, sir.
Suspicious activity.
Yes.
What's
Do you have your
your
driver's
name?
license on you, sir?
What's your name?
Do you have your driver's license on you, sir?
Sir, you didn't pull me. You can't pull me over for suspicious activity.
Actually, I can.
No, you can't.
I can.
Can you call your supervisor?
Yeah, Jersey Bob says, the really ironic part is the suspicious activity is the cop pulling him over. That's truly suspicious activity. Actually, it's not even It's criminal. It's criminal activity to interrupt somebody during the regular course of their day. It's like, hey, what are you doing today? Well, I don't know about you, but I'm out here pursuing life, liberty, and happiness, and you're infringing on that right now. So why don't you get out of my face, officer?
You have to have a statute why you pull me over.
Can I get a supervisor to my location, please?
What was the suspicious activity?
I'm going to fast forward this. I'm going to fast forward and get rid of all the dead space here.
Can I ask what you were doing out there, sir?
I'm not going to answer any questions.
So why are you asking me questions then?
Because you're a public servant. I'm not. I'm not paid with taxpayer dollars.
Okay. So what's your name? Is this your car?
Why did you pull me over? What statute is that you pulled?
It's almost like you can see them with they have this withdrawal complex. You can see it on their face. They're disgusted when you don't give them what they want right then. They're like addicts. Okay, I'll try it this way and I'll try it that way. But man, can't you see I'm shaking? I need to get your ID, man. I gotta get the ID fix. I gotta make you sit. See, they are not happy. An authoritarian person, a psychopath, a sociopath is not happy unless they know they can make somebody submit, unless they know they are in some way in control of this individual. Now, it gives them some satisfaction that they were able to pull this person over and detain him on the side of the road as a badged armed agent of the state, but they want to take it further. That's not enough for them. They really want you to show ID. They want you to make themselves, they want you to make yourself insecure in your person. It gives them, I don't know, I guess it gives them a dopamine hit. And they keep coming back for more. They keep doing it. And people keep submitting.
Pulled me over for? What lawful reason? Can you articulate that? Because I took your picture?
I couldn't tell what you were doing, sir.
Right. Well, then you pulled me over because you couldn't tell what I was doing?
Because it was suspicious activity. You sat behind me even though there was no reason to. There was no traffic coming.
I didn't sit behind you.
Yes, you did. You sat on Brewster Street for a while.
Yeah.
There was no traffic coming. You could have pulled out and turned north onto Brewster Street as your blinker suggested.
Why were you sitting there? There was no car in front of you.
I had conducted a traffic stop.
All right, move out of the way of the road. You're impeding traffic.
Can you check it out?
Look at this guy. What is he? What is that? Unbelievable. They stand over us as though they're rulers. They want you to believe that they are the masters. Don't step out of line. I'm the one that's armed. I want you disarmed. I want you submissive. I want you under my thumb. I want you under my control. It's a sick, sick mental disease.
You hear how much time I'll actually get up here?
Hi.
Hi.
Lieutenant Alavac with Appleton Police. You asked to talk to a supervisor?
Yeah, this guy pulled me over.
Oh, this guy's going to help. You just know it, right? He's not there to back his thin blue line. He's there to be perfectly impartial. He is here to make sure that any constitutional rights that were violated stop getting violated when he gets on the scene, right? That's what he's all about. That's his MO.
For suspicious activity.
Okay.
He said, what statute is that?
Which what?
What statute is that?
It's not a statute, sir. It's a...
So he's pulling me over for a non-violation. I haven't violated. I wasn't committing a crime. I wasn't about to commit a crime, and he didn't catch me committing a crime.
Okay.
Why did he or any violation, why did he pull me over? Suspicion in itself isn't a reason to pull someone over.
Well, when you're in an area where an officer is conducting a traffic stop on another vehicle and you
Right.
stop and you have something in your hand, it's kind of a dangerous world we live in right now. Okay, so he didn't.
It's kind of a dangerous world we live in does not trump individual rights. In this day and age does not trump unalienable rights. Well, you got to understand we suspected you might be suspicious does not trump unalienable rights. They believe it does, and they act on that belief, but it doesn't make it so. And to resist that is a very, very dangerous proposition.
Know what your intentions were or what you had in your hands.
Right.
Okay, it's
Nobody ever knows what the intentions of anybody is or what you had in your hand. You can have whatever you want to in your hands. Unfreaking believable. Officer Alabak.
certainly within the law to film. You just have to do it in a way that isn't going to cause concern with regards to an officer's safety.
No, that's not true. The Supreme Court already ruled on this. It doesn't interfere with the officer safety.
Yep.
At all.
Yep. Okay, so he stopped to see what you had in your hand because he didn't know
Well,
it was a camera.
that's not what he said. He said suspicious activity.
Yep.
And that's not a reason to stop me either.
Okay. Well, it could be. It certainly could be.
Well, a lot of things could be, but it's not.
Well, the totality of everything here is he didn't know that was a camera. Okay, if it was clearly a camera, it wouldn't have been a stop. But he didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it's still a violation. Of
The totality of everything here.
my rights for him to pull me over for that reason.
Okay, we don't have anything else right now. Okay. Okay. Well.
Yeah, I didn't commit any violation or crime. You can't run my ID.
Okay.
I'm talking to you.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Do you need it for anything else? Because
Don't stop people unlawfully. Honor your oath.
you're on your way, sir.
Honor your oath.
You're on your way.
You're on your way.
Is that your camera?
What do you think it is?
Why don't you pay attention to the road?
Why don't you stop talking to me?
This
Do you think they're going to honor their oath? They are not going to honor their oath. Let me get through this commercial here. I don't have ad blocker on this Google Chrome right here. So these guys right here don't mind exercising traffic law, or I believe that you were suspicious. I have reason to believe that you were being suspicious, not of committing a crime. You just acted suspicious. Again, even Terry v. Ohio, which is ridiculous. And Terry v. Ohio trumps the Fourth Amendment, by the way, in the minds of the badge law enforcers and the Supreme Court tyrant justices. Reasonable articulable suspicion is implied reasonable articulable suspicion that a crime has been committed. And I hate the crime is about to be committed because that's dumb. You don't know if a crime is about to be committed unless you're looking at some display window downtown in the town square, and there's jewelry on the other side of the window, and a guy's got a baseball bat and he's about to rear back and break that window. Crime is probably about to go down. It's about to be committed. But in other cases, I don't know how any cop could ever say, well, I believed. Well, they can say it, but how do they prove that they believe that a crime was about to be committed? A crime has to be committed for any human being to stop another human being. And you don't have to be a cop to be that human being that stops a human being that's actually committing a crime. Now, if you're on the inside and you overheard somebody plotting a crime and you could step in the way of it before it was actually committed, there you go. But that's not what cops do. They fabricate crimes by making ordinances and policies and things like traffic law. And then they say, well, we believe. They don't even need that. All they have to say is, we think you were being suspicious. So upon that, we decided to go ahead and pull you over. We decided to go ahead and interfere with your life. We decided to harass you, even though they're not saying that it's harassment. They're not even saying that you're detained or that you're under arrest or that you're free to go. They just believe that you just were acting suspicious. That is nonsense. How can we ever tolerate that for one more second in the land of the free, home of the brave? So leave your thoughts about this. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Also, put a 1 in the room if you're interested in me firing back up the call in, where I put the link in there and you guys join the chat and let me know what you guys think personally. If you guys enjoyed that and you want to see that next time I go live, I'll try to remember to do that. If you guys can remind me, put a 1 in the room if you want to have a convo, have a conversation of substance. How about that? Because the goal is always to be better people, to create a better world. You know, I want these people that wear these costumes, I want them to change their minds with regard to traffic law. Do you realize how free America could be if the people who claim to protect and served us actually protected and served us instead of harassed and collect from us? Do you realize how free we could be? But they're standing in the way of our freedom. They're standing in the way of their own freedom and their children's and their grandchildren's freedom. They're making this world a bad, bad place to live in. What if they said, you know what? Acting suspicious, what is that? Or okay, so he ran that stop sign at 2 o'clock in the morning when he was coming home from work. There wasn't anybody around. He didn't jeopardize anybody's life. Okay, so what? He doesn't have a metal plate on the back of his car. I'm not an order follower. I only took this position to stop crime so that I can make my community a better place. And I believe that's probably where most people were when they signed on the dotted line. Most, not all. Obviously, there are psychopaths who just want the ring of power just to exercise that power because it makes them feel good. But I think for the most part, people became cops because they wanted their community to be a better place. So, hey, cops, let's do it. Make the world a better place. Who cares about traffic law? If somebody's being reckless on the road and they're putting people in danger, of course, they should be stopped for the betterment of society. But if somebody's doing 7, 12, 15 miles an hour of the speed limit and they're not driving erratically or putting people in danger, let it go. Can you not let it go because you're being incentivized by some kind of a program that says, hey, you need to meet a quota? Is that what's going on here? Or are you just genuinely bad people who want to economically terrorize somebody? What's going on? So leave your thoughts about this. I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, it's a big club, says Stephanie, and you and I, we just ain't in it. I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget, Chili is still in prison. He's still innocent. He's still committed no crime, and he's still suffering under the heavy hand of the tyrants in his neck of the woods in Las Vegas. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.